Sam Richmond asked me, do I drive at the moment? When I first moved to Jamaica, I didn't. A couple of reasons why I didn't. One was because it's expensive, the cars in Jamaica, really expensive. What I would have liked to have bought in the UK, those cars are here, but like double. So that wasn't going to happen. That just wasn't going to work for me. And the second reason was I intentionally wanted to immerse myself into where I was living. I could have easily have bought a car. I was rebelling against the cost of the cars, but I could have bought a car and used that to go to work, to do my daily errands, to do shopping, to visit people. By me taking a taxi, knowing where the taxi routes go, knowing just how much a taxi ride fare costs, how you have to compose yourself and do things when you're in a taxi, just things like that. I wouldn't have known that if I got in a car. I wouldn't know that. Trying to avoid Natalie, not having the right amount of money, because if you've got $1,000 in your purse, it's judgment, right? The taxi man is probably not going to have any change. And even if they do, it's like, boy, they're just fussing because you took all their change. Try and always have the right amount of change. When I want the taxi driver to stop, I'll be like, give me a stop, driver, or one stop. I learned that. I would never learn that if I had a car. Knowing where bus stops are and bus routes and taxi ranks, because what if I couldn't use the car? Or just being able to give information to friends and family when they come and they're like, oh, Natalie, I want to get a taxi, or let me meet you. Where should I meet you? And I can say things like, meet me at the bus park, meet me at the taxi rank. Being able to not have a car and travel by taxi, I knew the roads. Living in England, I used to see all these motorbikes with these clipboards, and I used to wonder where are they going, because they're all driving all around these roads. And I was told that, Natalie, they are practicing for their exam to drive a taxi. And I was like, oh, that would make sense. It'd be quicker if you have a motorbike and you can go all these roads and find out where these roads are, where these roads lead to, all these shortcuts. But imagine, right? You're in a taxi and the taxi driver is doing all these wicked piece of shortcuts. They're just getting you there in 10 minutes. You obviously have the fear of God in you as well, because you're like, please, Lord, don't let me make this the last day and night on this earth. But these taxi drivers know exactly where they're going. I started to remember where they were going. So then when I had my car, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go this way. I'm going to bus a left. So that's the whole thing with driving. I didn't drive when I first got here, but a couple of years later, when I purchased my car and I started driving, it was much easier to get accustomed to being on the road with the car. Now, Kingston now, okay, so when I was on the North Coast living, I didn't have a car, but I would hire cars. I remember I have only been to Kingston twice, and that wasn't by car. But when I came to Kingston, it was about a year or so later, that's when I purchased a car. And I only live opposite Devon House, and I worked in Halfway Tree, across the road from the transportation centre. If you know that area, it's not that far driving wise, but I tell you something. When I used to get home, I'd have to sit in the car for about 5 minutes, because I was like this, because it was hard work driving in Kingston. Just the taxi man. I know taxis are like this in the UK, weaving in and out, think they own the road and all them things there. That I'm used to that, but it's a different level here in Kingston when the taxi man's are driving. And so, yeah, I probably would say I bordered on having a panic or anxiety attack. Not about getting in the car and driving. I did it, but when I got home, I'd just be like, oh my God, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But I got better now. I got better at it. I bought my car in 2016. It's 9 years now, so I'm good to go. But in the first few months, it was rough for me. It was really rough. Oh my gosh. But I'm good now. Let me go to the chat. Sharon Grant, enjoying your video. I'm living in the UK and I want to move to Jamaica. As you know, it's depressing here and just work for bills. Reading your message, that was one of the reasons why I wanted to move. You're still living there, and I felt that way, Sharon, 13 years ago. It kind of validates that I made the right decision by moving.